As if President Biden's allies weren't worried enough these days, he's reportedly getting a stark new warning from none other than Hillary Clinton. According to a new report from NBC News, the former Democratic nominee pulled Biden aside at a recent White House event and warned him that third-party candidates could help boost his Republican rivals. She remembers in her case. Quote, Clinton pressed Biden to take the third-party threat seriously and come up with a way to compensate for it, one of the sources said. The report goes on to say Biden and his allies face a bit of a conundrum just in their messaging about White House concerns, according to people familiar with White House discussions. They want Democrats to know that they are aware of the threat they face from third parties, but want to avoid stoking panic. Biden himself is worried about it, one of the sources said. And those concerns are reflected in this polling. This is crazy. Take a look. This comes from page 14 of the NBC poll. And here you see former President Trump leading President Biden 39% to 36% in a hypothetical general matchup. But look at this when you factor in the third-party candidates, Lisa. What you get when you add up the 5 for the Libertarian, 5 for No Labels, 4 for Green Party, and we don't know if No Labels will run anyone, but for the sake of argument, let's say this is the case. 14% to third-party candidates. Now let's pop up our Fox News polling of the Democrat primary, because there was that headline from the New York Times about RFK Jr. talking to the Libertarian Party. They deny he's going to be on the Libertarian ticket. Nevertheless, if he was, look at that. He's polling 17% against Biden. That could be his Achilles heel, Biden's.
Well, and they're probably having nightmares back to 2016 when Jill Stein helped cost the Democrats the 2016 election. I mean, if you looked at Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, had those votes gone to Hillary Clinton rather than Jill Stein, Hillary Clinton would have been the president. So I'm sure they're having nightmares going back to that. Look, I think that's part, Joe Biden's probably the weakest president since Jimmy Carter, which is why I think Democrats are teeing up the timing of the indictments against Donald Trump in these trials to align politically, right? You look on the eve of Super Tuesday, the January 6th trial, they're trying to tee it up where that is the dominant message going into the general election, not the economy, not parental rights, not immigration, not all these other things, but, the convictions against Donald Trump. So I think that's with intent.
Larry, when you look at the NBC article from earlier in the summer, what you find is 6% voted for third-party candidates in 2016. That fell to 2% in 2020. Joe Biden picked up disproportionately those votes. This could be the name of the game in 2024.
Well, I think President Biden could face a third-party threat. I think his bigger threat is the second party, the Republican Party. I mean, Biden is not doing well in any of the polls by a long shot. And whatever questions you might have about the ABC Washington Post poll, it was a blockbuster. I'm sorry. There's only so much the liberal media can do to dismiss that because other polls are showing similar approval, disapproval. So Biden's got problems with the third party. He's got problems with the second party. He may also have a problem with Michelle Obama. I'm hearing so much talk about Michelle Obama. I don't know if you all are hearing it the same way. People are saying, get to the Democratic convention, Joe Biden's going to, quote, have to withdraw for health reasons, and by acclamation, they're going to bring in Michelle Obama, and the Obama machinery is already gearing up for it. I'm not predicting. I'm just saying, I'm just hearing this from everywhere.
And whatever you want to say, I mean, Gavin Newsom's up to something. He's debating Ron DeSantis on Sean Hannity's program on November 30th. He's going to be in the spin room after the debate.
Yeah.
I mean, he's up to something.
So, look, Doug Schoen, who worked in the White House for Bill Clinton and then subsequently also worked with Hillary Clinton when she was a senator and ran for president as well, told me last hour that this is such an affront to Kamala Harris, the vice president. I mean, what a slap in the face. The president actually has designated Gavin Newsom, California governor of a failed state, that's what I call California these days because it is, to be his surrogate in that moment. And so to deliver the rebuttal, the spin, the whatever it's going to be, that flavor after those Republicans get on stage, all of whom are either tied or beating him in hypotheticals. Nikki Haley outside the margin of error for the second week as we look at those polls. So I think she's still beating him by 5%, Joe Biden. So what a slap in the face to the vice president. What does this mean? He's not just thirsty. he's getting something coming out of the straw now from Biden. And what does that? I don't know if they can get him on the ballots. Those deadlines are coming up.
They are coming up.
Are you laughing at my straw comment?
Yeah,
It's a fabulous metaphor.
it was appreciated by all.
All of this comes as voters say that President Biden's just not with it. He's too old. We saw as he deplaned there in Michigan, he used the short staircase out of the middle of Air Force One, not by accident. This is from Axios this morning. Scoop, Biden's team don't let him trip mission. It literally goes through the mission of Team Biden not to make him trip. With a physical therapist, Biden's been doing exercises to improve his balance, wearing tennis shoes more often to avoid slipping, using the short staircase on Air Force One. Democrats, including some in the administration, are terrified he will have a bad fall in a nightmare scenario weeks before the election.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm one of the millions of Americans that was appalled by his failure to recollect what exactly the name of the Pacific Islands Initiative was that 40 million of our tax dollars were going toward this weekend. I was appalled when he lied and said that he and the Prime Minister of the Cook Islands were both from Baltimore. I was appalled when he referred to an African-American grown male that he was honoring as boy. I mean, I'm appalled by him every day. So they can go ahead and put together their mission of protecting him physically, but I see him for what he is, which is an abject embarrassment, not befitting at all the office of the commander-in-chief or the president. I know maybe it's because I was just at CrimeCon and I'm feeling extra conspiratorial, but I'm just sort of wondering, you know, Hillary Clinton meeting with President Biden himself, why? Because isn't it decision makers around him that are crafting any type of strategy whatsoever? And when we talk about the Obama machine, what happened to it? If Gavin Newsom's doing his own thing, if everyone is doing their own thing, it means that they are excising this president, that he is no longer a part of the machine, because clearly it's rolling on without him. And I wonder then why she even bothered meeting him. He's not making the decisions. He's not there mentally.
Yeah, very good point.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.